taking this a step further with inequalities, looking at any sort of function. Now, functions will only change sign, if you're drawing a graph, it's only going to change sign at the x-intercept, because before it can go from plus to minus, it must go through to 0, or the x-intercept, or of course at a discontinuity, so it might jump, like the hyperbola over there, it changes from negative to positive when it jumps the discontinuity. Again, critical points, this idea of finding the critical points, I think is the most easiest way of solving inequations. So if I had this sort of inequality to solve, it's not a quadratic one, but it's all I can do is go, well, hang on, the critical points, it actually turns out to be a cubic, if it looks like that. I don't really need to know the shape of the graph. I'm interested in when is it positive, when is it negative. So I could just plot the key points there, in this case 1 and negative 3, and if I didn't know the graph, I could just test each region to see when is it positive, when is it negative. But in this case, I've got the graph, so I can read straight off it. When is it less than or equal to 0? Well, over there, at less than or equal to minus 3. But the biggest mistake with a question like this is forgetting about the point 1. Because the question is saying, when is it less than or equal to? And over at 1, it is equal to. So that is part of the solution as well. So if we had, let's go back to a question we looked at with the pronumeral and denominator. 2 over x plus 3 is less than 5. I could do it this way. This is yet another way of solving this sort of inequation. Create one algebraic fraction. So I move the 5 to the left-hand side, but I make it all one algebraic fraction. So it becomes 13 minus 5x on x plus 3. The advantage of doing this is we're saying, I've got a fraction which is negative. So either the top of the fraction is negative, or the bottom of the fraction is going to be negative. Has to be one of the two. Because if the top was positive and the bottom was positive, well, it would be positive. If the top was negative and the bottom was negative, it would be positive. So the critical points, again, are what makes the top and the bottom of the fraction equaling 0. So the top of the fraction is 13 on 5. Bottom of the fraction is minus 3. I found my two critical points. Now I just test. Sub in, give me a number that's less than minus 3. Minus 5. If we were to sub in minus 5, I'd get 2 on negative 2, which is negative 1. Yes, that's less than 5. In between minus 3 and minus 13 on 5. Well, it's a bit hard, isn't it? Oh, yuck. Let's pretend we found one and tested it. Oh, it didn't work. Bad luck. Test one on the right-hand side. 0's on the right-hand side. That works. And so there's our solution. Yet another way. A much rarer way of doing it, to be honest. But, yeah, it works. A little bit was quick.